Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to another Knicks Media post-game recap. The Knicks get the job done, and they defeat the Sacramento Kings by a long slide. Tonight, we got a Knicks W to recap. It's about damn time. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Richie from Knicks Media. Welcome into the post-game recap of the Knicks defeating the Sacramento Kings. We got an all-around great performance from the entire Knicks team. Evan Fournier starting it off, not missing at all. And then we just take care of business at home like we should. Going into this game, we all knew this was an absolute must-win. We were obviously on a drive, not really playing good basketball in the past couple of weeks. We've lost like 5 or last 6, trending downwards and downwards. Trade rumors, we might trade Kemba, we might trade this player, that player, and we all know what's coming. In terms of the schedule, we're going on a 5-game road trip out west against the top teams in the Western Conference. So we knew we had to take care of business at home against the Sacramento Kings, especially without De'Aaron Fox and Begley. And that's exactly what the Knicks do. They absolutely blow them out of the waters for the entire game. It was a great team victory from the Knicks. And this is a really good sign because obviously we all know that the Knicks have dug themselves into a deep hole. But it is a great sign to see the New York Knicks take care of business and win a game that they're supposed to win. It's about damn time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's good? Carter, what up? Merlinful, what's good? What's good? How we feeling, Richie? I'm feeling great. Welcome into the stream, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying your Monday night. We're just getting started here on the Knicks Media post-game recap. So smash that like button on your way into the stream. Let's get the stats up on the screen so we can see what we're working with. There are the stats from tonight. I cannot believe what Evan Fournier did tonight. Isn't that pretty crazy? Evan Fournier, when he's hot, he don't miss. Evan Fournier does not miss when he's hot. So the New York Knicks take care of business when it matters the most. And now we are headed out west and headed up against the John Morant-led Memphis Grizzlies. So getting right into this game in particular against the Sacramento Kings, the one thing I noticed in this one is the New York Knicks played freely. They played together, and they also played phenomenal defense. And yes, I know that we faced a team in the Sacramento Kings that are at the bottom of the NBA, and it's a team that's lost like so many games in a row. I think they're on a 5-game losing streak or something like that. But we all know that the Knicks this year have lost to so many teams where we're supposed to be. So we should feel good about this. There's no reason to be ecstatic about the New York Knicks not only beating the Kings, but dominating the Kings on home floor. We got a great game from pretty much the entire team. There wasn't really anybody that had an atrocious game. You know, RJ struggled in the first half, but he had a bounce back in the second half. Julius Randle had a very quiet, really good, efficient game tonight. Kemba Walker, I guess you could say he's the only one because he basically had 0 points. But if you look at the box score right here, it was well balanced. We did not need to have the starters play a lot of minutes. I mean, not even one starter had more than 30 minutes. That's actually pretty crazy. So starting off with Evan Fournier, he started off like 5 or something insane like that. Evan Fournier had 18 points, 2 assists, 7-11 from the field, and 2 steals. Julius Randle had one of his better games in recent time. Julius Randle, 17 points, 9 rebounds, a near double-double for Randle, 7 of 14 from the field, and 1 steal. RJ Barrett, he started off 1 of 9, but then finished off strong in that second half. He had 11 points to go with 4 rebounds, 4 of 14 from the field. Mitchell Robinson is an absolute monster. He's been probably, besides in this game, the only consistent Knick this month. Mitchell Robinson, 9 points, 13 boards, 2 blocks, and a steal. Shout out to Mitchell Robinson being the 5th all-time New York Knicks player in blocks. That's pretty crazy. He just passed Marcus Camby tonight. So shout out to Mitchell Robinson. That's pretty insane. Mitchell Robinson's already 5th all-time in New York Knicks blocks. Shout out to Mitchell Robinson. Kemba Walker did not really do anything tonight. 0 points, 0 of 2 from the field, but the bench unit went crazy. Alec Burks led the way with 21 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists, 6 of 9 from the field and a steal. He's getting that trade value up for Leon Rose, if you know what I'm saying. Quentin Grimes had a sensational game off the bench. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 9 from the field, and 3 steals. He was taking Halliburton off the dribble. Quentin Grimes was sizing people up. It was pretty remarkable to see what Quentin Grimes did tonight, and he also made me some money because I bet money on Quentin Grimes hitting 2 threes, and that's exactly what he did. So shout out to the rook, Quentin Grimes. He continues to show why he deserves minutes, and he's getting them. 23 minutes for Quentin Grimes off the bench. That's what you love to see. Obi Toppin had probably one of his better games of the season as well. Obi Toppin's been becoming a very good piece off the bench, and I love to see him getting minutes In only 18 minutes of action, Obi Toppin finishes with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists on 6 of 8 from the field and a block shot. Obi Toppin deserves way more minutes than he's getting, but luckily for the Knicks and Obi Toppin's perspective, he got an opportunity to play because the Knicks were winning the entire game, so the starters did not have to go back in at all the fourth quarter. So Obi Toppin actually got an opportunity to play consistent minutes tonight. Let's hope that he can get way more minutes as the season progresses, and it's not only when we're blowing teams out when Obi Toppin gets minutes. Am I right? And then Emmanuel quickly, he had a decent game off the bench, 3 dimes, 6 points, and then Cam Reddish came in off the bench. Let's see his stats. Yeah, he didn't get a field goal, but he had 4 points all from the free throw line. The entire Knicks fans at the Garden was chanting, "We want Reddish," or Cam Reddish. They were doing a Cam Reddish chant. They all wanted Cam to go out there, and he went out there for the last 5 minutes. That's the one thing I don't really like about this whole situation. Like, Cam Reddish is not getting minutes, and when he does get minutes, it kind of feels like it's forced, like he's thrown into a rotation where he doesn't feel comfortable in, and the entire Garden is waiting for Reddish to do something, and it's like he has the ball and he has to make something happen. It doesn't feel like natural. I'm hoping that he can actually get within the rotation post-trade deadline. We'll see what moves are going to be made. I'm going to make a lot of videos this week about some trade targets that the Knicks might have, so stay tuned for that on this channel. Of course, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, of course. But it's be really interesting to see how the rotations really sort themselves out post-trade deadline. Are they actually going to trade the veterans? Is Kemba Walker going to be gone? Is Evan Fournier going to be gone? Is Burks going to be gone? Because that's what the rumors are all about. Tonight, Fournier and Burks played very good basketball. So now the New York Knicks front office has a really interesting decision to make. Do they trust these veterans to stick with for the rest of the season and beyond, because they are both on the books for like 2 or 3 seasons after this one? Or are they going to try to move on from them and let the young guys like Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish and those guys take over the reins and get serious minutes to develop them for the future? That's what a really interesting conversation that needs to be happening with the New York Knicks front office. And we will find out next week. On Thursday, I believe, is the trade deadline. So, buckle in, guys, because the trade deadline's approaching quickly, and I don't know what to expect. What do you guys expect in the chat? You guys let me know. It was a great win for the New York Knicks. You love to see the energy. That's what I really noticed tonight. What we did last year so well is we basically outworked our opponent. We played hustle basketball. We defended well. We rotated. We played together. We had continuity. We had spontaneity, as Clyde would say. And the New York Knicks actually, it felt like that tonight. It felt like we were playing together on a string defensively. We had great ball movement. The starters were playing well together. The bench was playing well together. And yes, I know we're going up against a bottom team in the NBA, but this is still a good sign, because let's hope that this momentum would carry into the West Coast trip. It's a brutal one. It's a 5-game trip against the Grizzlies, the Jazz, I believe, the Lakers, a lot of really tough teams in the Western Conference. We'll be lucky if we can win 2 of the 5. Let's hope we can win 3 of the 5. That's optimistic thinking, right? Because we got to be able to make some noise if we want to somehow get back into the playoff race post-trade deadline and post-All-Star break. Time is ticking. So let's see if the New York Knicks are going to be aggressive at the trade deadline. Are they going to try to bring in a big-time piece, like a veteran, to fill in, like a Jalen Brunson, or a younger guy like De'Aaron Fox? Like, who knows what the Knicks are going to be doing, but I'll be making a lot of videos on this channel about who the Knicks should be targeting, or who they might be targeting heading into the trade deadline, which is next week. Wow. Next week. That's ridiculous. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome in. If you're new to the stream, don't forget to smash that like button. We only got 7 likes with 30 of you guys watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button on your way into the stream. Greatly appreciate that. We got Carl in the chat. What's good, Carl? Trade Randle, Kemba, 2 first-round picks for Fox and Begley. Carl wants to move on from the 2 veterans and give up 2 firsts for Fox and Begley. I see you, my man. I see you. Kelvin's in this chat. What's good, Kelvin? The one and only. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Of course, Kelvin, hope you're having a fantastic Monday night. Love to see you back in the chat. Jamal, hey Richie, today's my birthday today, and tonight, good job on Knicks. Jamal, happy birthday, my man. Hope you had a fantastic day, and hope you had a great day with whatever you did today, man. Happy birthday to Jamal. Everyone wish Jamal a happy birthday in the chat. Great subscriber here on all my channels is Jamal, so appreciate all the support, of course. After tonight's game, don't be shocked if nothing changes. This is interesting. So when it comes to the Knicks, now you can say 2 things here. Did the Knicks boost the trade value of guys like the veterans of Fournier and Burks? Or is it going to make the trade not happen because the front office wants to hold on to them because they feel like they're going to continue this play? There's two sides of the coin. The Knicks could be kind of happy right now that the trade value is going up, or the Knicks might be happy enough to keep them long term. Very interesting to see what happens in less than 2 weeks. It's like a week and a half. Jeff, what's good, my man? Salute to you as well, bro. Salute Richie, Knicks Media, and Knicks family. Yes, sir. Be #civilized. Welcome in, my man. Welcome in. What kind of package would it take to get Simmons? Good question, Daniel. A lot. Because the one thing we know about the Ben Simmons situation with Philadelphia is the Sixers want so much to the point where so many teams just like, all right, you want too much. I'm not even going to handle that. If I'm the Knicks, I stay away from Ben Simmons. Personally, just because of the asking price, I do not want the Knicks to sacrifice like 4 first-round picks and like Quickly and Grimes or something like that. Like, I don't want to do that, to be honest. I feel like we got to hold on to our capital for somebody else. That's not going to – the price is not too high. The Sixers' asking price for Ben Simmons is way too pricey for me to give up all of that. Get rid of vets, increase the trade value, and then play Reddish. Yeah, this is what I really hope that the Knicks do. I hope that they trade the veterans because, listen, we all have to realize if we trade the veterans, like, they're kind of tanking on the season in terms of the playoffs. I mean, hey, you never know. The young guys can just come in here and click and all of a sudden start winning games. But if the Knicks do trade all their veterans like Fournier, like a Burks, like a Kemba, then they kind of are essentially saying like, yeah, we're not going for the playoffs this year. We're going to go for development and build for the future. And I'm honestly for that because if we're being honest right here, guys, like, do we think the team constructed right now is going to the playoffs? I don't know. I wish I could say that with a straight face, with optimistical energy, but I just can't. I can't, man. Really sucks. Really does suck. Simmons is not worth it, can't shoot. Yeah, man, I agree. Simmons is a great defender, and he's a great playmaker, great energy, great at attacking the basket. You don't want to give up that much for a guy that can't shoot and has, issues off the court, for sure. So shout out to everybody in the chat. We're just getting started on this post-game live stream. If you guys want me to talk about any topics that you might have or questions about tonight's game, let me know your thoughts. I would love to get into the chat and talk away. Talk about some Knicks, man. We got a dub. Look at these stats to my left. Or is this, it's to my right, but it's to your left. So whatever. Alec Burks had a great game, but the one person, or should I say the two players that really stood out to me the most tonight was rookie Quentin Grimes and second-year man Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is taking people off the dribble, crossing people up. His aggression is phenomenal to watch. He's finishing with his left hand. He's finishing with his right hand. He's dunking on you. He's creating for himself. He's hitting his three-pointers. Obi Toppin is becoming an absolute dog. I mean, we had Clyde Frazier saying that Obi Toppin is becoming, well, he didn't say he's becoming, but he had that Euro step, and he said he's looking like the Greek freak. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obi Toppin is turning into Giannis. Obviously, that's not serious. He's not turning into Giannis. But there was a play where Obi went into the paint, did a nice little Euro, finished with the jelly, and you're like, okay, Obi, I see you, my man. We all know that if Obi got real minutes, the potential is ridiculous for Obi Toppin, especially if he has that aggressive mindset of attacking the basket like he's been doing, putting the ball on the floor and dribbling it like the way he's doing it, handling the ball with like ease. I mean, Obi Toppin is shoot, bro. Like, I hope he gets more minutes, man. That's all I gotta say. Grimes should start. Same age as Barrett, top 10 prospect back in the day. I agree, man. I think we hit an absolute home run with Quentin Grimes in the draft. Quentin Grimes does absolutely everything you would want in a rookie. Quentin Grimes is, first of all, his energy defensively. He had 3 steals tonight. Just great in 23 minutes of action. We all know that he's a sniper from downtown. The confidence, the quick trigger, everything about Quentin Grimes when it comes to shooting is off the charts. And what did we see from Grimes tonight? We saw a rookie take Halliburton, who's a really good perimeter defender, off the dribble and attacking the paint and finishing it at the rim. Is he low-key a good slasher as well? Could he just develop his game and become an actual like starting wing on this team alongside RJ Barrett for the future? Hey, never say never. Obi was topping and popping. You already know, Kelvin. Gideon, good win and total team effort. Yes, sir. I just hope that we will build off of this. I agree, man. I definitely agree. As we know, the schedule becomes brutal from this point out. So how are the New York Knicks going to be able to, continue this momentum? They're going to go up against really good teams, and they're going to be playing them tough. We're going to be going up against really good defenses that seems to just shut teams down. Shut the Knicks down, rather. So we really got to make sure that we hone in, get focused, and play good defense. Let's get back to our roots. You know what the key to our defense is that we have not had all season long? Is a healthy Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel at the same time. Nerlens Noel continues to be injured. Today, he was questionable to return with a sore knee, but good news is he actually returned and played for the second half. But we need Nerlens to stay healthy. Mitchell Robinson's doing his thing, staying healthy, avoiding injury. That was a really crucial part. And we were out with Mitchell Robinson for the majority of the season last year. If we can have Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel healthy, we're going to have an elite rim protector on the court for 48 minutes at a time. That is the key to this defense. And then the rest of the four guys got to play absolute lockdown D on the perimeter, switching when need to be, double teaming, not leaving guys wide open. And tonight we saw a great performance from the New York Knicks defense. Let's hope that can transition to an actual good offense, because we know that the Kings don't really have an offense that scares you, especially without De'Aaron Fox and Bagley. But you know who deserves some credit, in my opinion, that you guys might roast me for? But hey, you got to give credit when they play good basketball. And that's Julius Randle. Randle had a good game tonight. Wasn't a flashy game, wasn't his greatest game ever, but he had an efficient, quiet, great game tonight for Julius Randle. 17 points, 9 boards, 4 dimes, 7 of 14 from the field, and a steal. Hey, man, if Julius Randle can be efficient and he can claw his way back, you never know what can happen, man. Julius Randle, we all know that he's going through something mentally. He's not the player that he was last year at all, not even close to that. But let's hope that he can continue this trend and maybe go into the next couple of games where he can actually put the team on his back. The one thing I will say about Julius Randle is a big reason why he's not playing the way he was last year is teams have adjusted. Teams have been double teaming Randle to the point where he could not get comfortable and he does not have any chance to get to his spots that we saw last year where he just absolutely money from all day long. So Randle's forced to pass it. Randle's forced to not be aggressive. Randle's forced to not be comfortable. And that's been making him just not a good player for the New York Knicks this season, if you want to just be frank. Even though he still leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we don't know. Any trade rumors for the Knicks? Hey, man, there's trade rumors about the Knicks all the time. If there's any trade rumors, you guys know to come to me for it because I always talk about them on the channel. The last thing I heard, and I don't have any sources. I'm not going to pretend that I know anything. I have inside sources. I don't have any inside sources. I'm just basing it off the rumors I see on Twitter. The same exact rumors that you guys see. I just feel like the Knicks are trying to potentially, with the rumors, move on from the veterans and give the young guys some playing time. I feel like that's the best case scenario. That's what I hope, but we'll see. Will Randle survive the thumbs down? See, this is really interesting because, I just don't feel like Randle can ever bounce back from that. I really genuinely don't. As a big Mets fan, and no, I'm not going to get into baseball, but whether you're a baseball fan, whether you're a Yankees fan or whatever, you all know what happened with the Mets this year with the thumbs down, with Francisco Lindor and Javi Baez. And I hated every single second of that as a Mets fan. And when I saw Randle do it, I'm like, no way. Here we go again. And it's so mental with Randle right now. I think that's his biggest issue. He felt like he won the city over last year, became a superstar that we all thought he was, all-star, most improved player. He got the extension, and he felt like he won the city over, and he did at the time. But then this year, the city's turning on him because he's not playing good basketball. Now he's kind of shell-shocked. I feel like now he's kind of like, whoa, I got to do this all over again. I got to win the city back. And he's going through the motions right now. He has to realize this is a tough city. We're not just going to be, cheering MVP for you at the free throw line. If you're not playing like an MVP, you don't put effort on the court. You don't play at 110% at all times like he was last year. So hopefully Randle can realize that and understand that this city will love you if you just play with 100% effort. For me, it's not about shooting. You can have off nights, you can have an off season from shooting from downtown, shooting from the perimeter. But if you lack energy and if you lack camaraderie and you lack heart, that's what doesn't sit with me right, and it doesn't sit with you guys, doesn't sit with the entire Knicks fan base, because the one thing that Knicks fans all live off of, it's hard-nosed defense, it's hard-nosed effort, it's hard-nosed hustle plays, and right now Randle just lacks all that. He has he doesn't really have good body language, he doesn't really have any of that stuff that we were used to last year. So let's hope that that was a crazy crack. Let's hope that he does survive it. I'm rooting for Randle. I'd rather Randle, get his stuff together, get back to his ways last year than anything. But we'll see, man. Advance, Richie, UK gang here. Yes, sir. What time is it for you guys over there? Ew, the Mets. See, I knew someone would say that. I mean, you could tell I'm a Mets fan from right there, right? It's no surprise, right? It ain't no surprise. Point guard is still a main issue for starting unit. How to solve? Good question. There's trade rumors about Jalen Brunson, but at the same time, I'm going to make a video on this and talk about it more extensively. But why would the Mavericks give up Brunson? Because the Mavericks are a playoff team right now. That's why I just don't understand why that would be the case. Maybe they just feel like they're not going to extend him after the season, so they want to get something in return. But I don't see Brunson. De'Aaron Fox, I think, is the big guy that a lot of Knicks fans feel like the Knicks should be interested in. He's a young player. He's on a crappy team in the Kings that we just witnessed. He was injured tonight with an ankle. But, hey, it's no secret that the Knicks are lacking a true point guard that we can say that's the franchise point guard. Kemba Walker is not that guy. D Rose, we're still waiting to come back, which is a good sign. We heard from him the other day that he'll be back after the trade deadline, which is really good news because this team misses D Rose big time. And, I don't know. I don't know if the Knicks are going to solve their point guards issues at the trade deadline, this summer, next year. I have no idea. We got to see it, man. Be Civilized say, tonight showed flashes of why Knicks should not even entertain trades on OB. He's still growing and developing, and when he's a finished product, he will be dangerous, especially if the team has a legit point guard. You got a good point here, my man. Obi Toppin is a legit playmaking point guard away from being an absolute monster. And I can say that with confidence. I really can genuinely say Obi Toppin, if you give him a role on this team with like 25 plus minutes a game and you give him an offense that's ran not through him, but you give him a playmaker where those plays ran for him. They find him when he cuts. He gives him a chance to take guys off the bounce, post people up, find him in transition, running down the court. Obi Toppin's potential is through the roof, and I think Knicks fans are starting to understand that as every game passes. I really genuinely believe that. Guys, we're just getting started on the post-game live stream. If you guys are new to the stream, make sure you smash that like button for your boy. Let's get the 50 likes. We got 24 likes right now. Let's get the 50 likes. So make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button for your boy. Would greatly appreciate that. Would greatly appreciate that. Woo! If the Knicks don't do well this year, fire Tibbs and hire D'Antoni so we can run a fast-paced offense. See, this is crazy. That's crazy. I don't know, man. I'm not on the fire Tibbs train yet. I'm not there. I'm not there yet. I know a lot of Knicks fans are, and I see where you're coming from, but I don't know. After seeing what Thibodeau did with this Knicks team last year, I don't know, man. We'll see. I understand that it's slow-paced offense. It's kind of lethargic. It's kind of frustrating to see him playing the veterans. I get that. Yo, Richie, is it me or is Quickly regressing? Carl, I think my take on Quickly personally is he's trying really hard to be a point guard right now, where he's being a little less aggressive when it comes to shooting. He's not taking as many shots as he did last year as a rookie. He's trying to be way more of a playmaker, and he's been very successful as a playmaker. If you look at the numbers, his assist to turnover ratio is actually really good. I think it's one of the best on the teams, better than Kemba. And, without D Rose coming off the bench, Quickly had to take over the reins as the point guard off the bench. And I feel like he's trying to just become a point guard right now. And it might look a little different from last year because he was playing more off the ball. He was playing, a different position rather. So, Quickly definitely looks like he's taking a little step back, if you want to call that regression. But I don't know. I feel like Quickly really feeds off D Rose. I feel like D Rose next to Quickly was that tandem and that backcourt last year was just absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like he's missing out. I got to be honest with you guys. And I know they did play a lot together last year, but I do not like the dynamic of Alec Burks and Quickly. off the bench together. Personally, I think Alec Burks just is way too much of a ball-dominant player. Like, he thinks he needs to be the point guard when I don't like him to be. Even though you got to give Burks a lot of credit. I mean, he had a great game tonight, 21 points for sure. But I don't know, Burks just feels like he takes the ball out of the young guy's hands a little too much for my liking. Like, when the ball should be in Quickly's hands or Grimes' hands, you kind of just like, when Burks is hot, he really is tough to beat. But that's my take on Quickly. I just feel like right now he plays well in some games. He gets hot, but in other times he does seem to look like a little, lethargic out there. Jokas, you talking about Jakubaitis overseas? He's killing it. I love it. It's 3 a.m., bro. And if you remember when we talked about it live on a few weeks ago, despite the results tonight, I stand what I said on RJ is our future build around him, and we still have a bright future. Wow, man. 3 a.m. in UK, still supporting Knicks Media. I appreciate you supporting me all the way from the United Kingdom. Yeah, I agree. This is RJ's team for the future, no doubt. Yeah, he had not a good game tonight, but that happens. He finished off the month of January shooting tremendously from the field. I agree, Richie, but I think he rushing too many shots. He hasn't gotten to the flow and already shooting. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Tibbs needs to be fired. They're probably trading veterans against his will. I don't know, man. A lot of people want Thibodeau fired. I just can't hop on that train, man. I really can't. I cannot hop on the train of firing Thibodeau. I really can't. He won Coach of the Year last year with the Knicks after we went from Fizdale to Hornacek to Derek Fisher. Like, I don't know. I really want continuity at the head coach position. We signed him to a 5-year contract, and I want Thibodeau to be the long-term guy. And hey, just because I want it doesn't mean it's the right move. But I feel like Tom Thibodeau needs to realize that in today's league, you got to be able to run a way higher pace offense. But you know what's crazy about Tom Thibodeau, and a lot of people say his offense is too lethargic and too slow paced, which it is. But then whenever they insert the bench unit, the bench plays at 110 miles per hour. Like, I feel like it might be more of a personnel issue than coaching issue, in my opinion, when it comes to the starters. If you look at the starting five in Kemba, Fournier, RJ, Randle, and Mitch, I mean, who on that starting five besides RJ Barrett is pushing the ball down the court? I mean, Randle tries to, and it's unsuccessful. So I feel like it's more of a personnel issue when it comes to the high-paced offense than the coaching. Because when you insert the bench unit and it's Quickly and it's Grimes and it's Obi, they're flying up and down the court. It's high-paced, high-energy style basketball. That's why I kind of think like they're still realizing that maybe the front office made a couple errors in this offseason, and the team is just not really clicking together. You know what I mean? It's that simple. If you look around the league, a team like the Phoenix Suns, they're the best team in the league for sure. Their record's ridiculous. They're like on another 10-game winning streak or something like that. That's a perfect example of all the players just fitting the system and playing together beautifully. Like, they're not all like, obviously Devin Booker is the leader of that team and Chris Paul for sure. And they got Ayton, they got Bridges, they got Crowder. They got a lot of dogs on that squad, but they just fit together like so perfectly. And what I'm trying to say is the Knicks need to find the right pieces to play together. Like, you can get a lot of talented players, but they might not all play together in sync. And if you remember the beginning of the season when the Knicks started 5-1, and we went on a little dry spell, and then Tom Thibodeau was asked, do the Knicks starters need some time or what's happening? He said, time's not on our side. Like, it's either we fix it now or it's not going to be fixed. So I really personally think it's more of an issue in terms of the starting lineup just not clicking together. But we'll see. I really feel like the Knicks have to start making some interesting moves. We got a week and a half until the trade deadline. Hey, we got Wardy in the chat. What's good, my man? Grimes going to be a problem for this league. You already know. My boy Tyler will be on the stream next week. I'm going to have a live trade deadline stream on Thursday, bearing any New York Mets news. Wardy will be joining me on the channel, and we'll be going crazy. an hour or two before the trade deadline. We'll be going live, getting crazy. If anything happens, we'll be live for it when the Knicks make a big-time move. Who knows who it will be, but we'll see. Quentin Grimes will be a problem in this league for sure, man. I was going off about him earlier in the stream. His energy, his defense, his effort. I mean, tonight he showed the ability to take people off the bounce. Hey, sign me up on that, baby. You love to see it. Advance says, just seems to me, Richie, whenever the vets have a good game, RJ doesn't. Whenever RJ has a good game, the vets don't. Just want to see D-Rose, RJ, Cam, Julius, and Mitch seeing Grimes, IQ, Obi off the bench. Yeah, I agree. You know, tonight was kind of like the Fournier show. Fournier kind of took over that first quarter, and then RJ, didn't really hit his shots early, and then he kind of got into rhythm at the end. But I agree with this take. IQ's not living up to the hype, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, as a rookie, he really showed up and was lighting it up the league, honestly, as a rookie. And he's not playing that same way for whatever reason. I definitely understand where you're coming from. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream soon. If you guys want me to talk about anything else regarding this game, please let me know. I like to go live for just over 30 minutes, around 40 minutes. Post-game live. I'm going to try to go live pretty much after every game as much as I can. If you guys want to stick with me, I greatly appreciate that. So let me know and what you guys want me to talk about before I end off the stream. And guys, please don't forget to like the video if you guys did not already. Greatly appreciate that. We're coming off a great victory against a team, the Sacramento Kings, the team that we're supposed to beat. I know that they're not a good team, but you got to be able to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And now we have to go up against the Memphis Grizzlies. If you guys remember last year, the Grizzlies came to the Garden and we beat them. And that was the first win of the 9-game winning streak. So we'll see. That does it for the stream, guys. Appreciate all the support in here at Knicks Media. Stay tuned for more content this week. I'll be talking about some trade targets at the deadline. Of course, talk about the games coming up. And I appreciate all the support, guys. Knicks Media is out. Have a great night, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Let's go, Knicks.